You can't see her. She can dive to over 250 meters and stay down for 6 months. She can run for 20 years without refueling. She is the most lethal weapon ever designed.
It began as a rumor inside naval circles about a new kind of submarine the public was never meant to hear about.
Welcome back. Well, Australia will spend $1.7 billion to acquire dozens of ghost shark drones.
It'll have the ability to provide strike at extremely long distances from the continent of Australia.
Engineers described it as a machine that could think underwater, move without guidance, and slip through the ocean like a shadow with no human life on board. In sealed briefing rooms, commanders studied its early test runs and understood that this was the start of a new era. This was a vessel that worked in silence, hunted in silence, and reported in silence. The Navy had finally built something that could change how underwater power worked forever.
Do you think we're in an arms race to World War III?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I do.
And that was the first time an Australian government really said we need to increase our submarine capability.
What is the Ghost Shark, the AI submarine? No one crewed. The Ghost Shark was unlike anything the Navy had ever placed underwater. It was an extra-large, autonomous underwater vehicle built through a secret partnership between Anduril Industries and allied naval groups. From the start, it was designed to operate with no humans on board. Everything inside it worked through computers, sensors, and an advanced AI brain that handled the tasks a full submarine crew would normally manage. Its design broke away from the rules of traditional submarines. Instead of a solid pressure hull running from front to back, the Ghost Shark used what engineers called a flooded design. Water filled most of the outer body, while only a few internal compartments held pressure. This approach removed a huge amount of weight and freed up interior space that could be used for sensors, mission tools, and payload modules. That space was one of the reasons it could take on so many roles without growing in size. Guiding the vessel was the real secret: Anduril's Lattice AI. This was the same system used in some of the world's most advanced autonomous aircraft and defense platforms. Inside the Ghost Shark, Lattice AI handled navigation, propulsion control, obstacle avoidance, and mission planning. Missions that once required a team of trained submariners were now handled by a machine that never grew tired and never hesitated. Early reports suggested the vessel could remain submerged for up to 10 days without surfacing. And only its operators on land knew where it was, and sometimes even they did not track it in real time in order to keep its location secret.
It is the most advanced autonomous underwater vehicle in the world.
The company released very little information to the public. What they did share described the Ghost Shark as a long-range, stealthy platform built for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and precision strike. Nothing about its tools or internal systems was fully confirmed, which added to the mystery surrounding it. But what was clear was that the Ghost Shark removed the need for traditional crews, removing human risk and opening a new chapter in underwater warfare. And to create a submarine that could run its own missions, react to danger, and stay hidden for days, the program had to move at a speed almost unheard of in undersea development. Rapid development from prototype to fleet. The development of the Ghost Shark did not follow the slow rhythm that usually weighed down major military projects. In 2022, Anduril and a group of allied defense partners signed a co-development contract that focused on building 3 working prototypes. This was the start of an intense engineering push that aimed to deliver results in a fraction of the usual time. From the first planning meetings, the team treated speed as a core requirement. They wanted a submarine that could be tested, improved, and fielded before rival nations even understood what was happening. Their first success appeared in 2024, when the prototype named Alpha was tested. Its reveal surprised even close observers because it arrived earlier than expected, and it was so secret that many experts didn't even know the project existed. Governments were used to projects that were late, over budget, or stuck in redesign. Yet Alpha broke that pattern. It arrived ahead of schedule and met the early performance targets. That achievement sent a message that this project had momentum behind it. Instead of building a single final design and spending years ironing out flaws, the team used an agile engineering approach. Each prototype served as a stepping stone to the next. Engineers collected real data from ocean trials, refined the AI behavior, adjusted the hull structure, then moved to the next build. The testing loop repeated quickly, which allowed the Ghost Shark to evolve at a pace that traditional submarine programs could not match. Every iteration came with stronger systems and smarter software. By 2025, the confidence in the project had grown so much that full-rate production was approved. Governments invested $1.7 billion to move the Ghost Shark from a prototype into a fleet capable of real missions. The approval signaled that leaders believed the technology was sound, the schedule was reliable, and the need for autonomous underwater vessels had become urgent. To support this surge, Anduril opened a new 7,400 square meter factory in Sydney. This facility was built for fast production, not demonstration models. Robotic manufacturing systems welded, shaped, and assembled the large hull sections with precision. AI-driven logistics software tracked parts, managed supply flow, and organized output schedules. The building even contained a large in-water test tank where each hull was checked for buoyancy, electrical safety, propulsion stability, and internal pressure integrity. Every Ghost Shark could undergo basic trials before touching open sea. The supply chain grew just as fast. More than 40 local companies provided materials, electronics, carbon fiber structures, and specialist components. This ecosystem strengthened sovereign manufacturing and trained a new generation of technical workers. It also created an industrial base capable of scaling up production if global tensions demanded a larger fleet. The result was a development program that moved with the kind of speed normally seen only in the tech world. In just a few years, the Ghost Shark shifted from sketch to prototype to full production. With production underway, it was time to explore exactly what missions this secret AI submarine could carry out and how it would change the balance beneath the waves. Mission profile: intelligence, strike, and endurance. Ghost Shark was created to take on missions that humans either cannot handle for long periods or should not handle due to safety or politics. These tasks include long intelligence patrols, risky surveillance near hostile bases, or operations that a crewed submarine would find too sensitive. The idea is simple. Let the AI machine swim into places where a human crew might face danger or international tension. Its modular payload system is one reason it works so well. The body is built with different sections that can be swapped depending on what the mission needs. One setup may carry advanced sensors for intelligence gathering. Another setup may hold electronic warfare tools that can disrupt or monitor enemy signals. There is also room for future payloads that may support strike missions or even mine laying. This flexibility means one Ghost Shark can perform many different types of jobs without needing a full redesign. The entire submarine worked like a giant underwater Lego set. The center of the vessel, known as the mission bay, was modular. A team could remove one module and slide in another depending on what the operation required. If the mission needed silent intelligence gathering, the Ghost Shark could be loaded with advanced sonar arrays and optical systems. If the task required offensive power, the module could be swapped for strike weapons or smart mines. This flexibility allowed a single platform to act like a fleet of different submarines. The AI system inside Ghost Shark is the central engine that controls how it thinks and moves. Once a mission is set, the submarine can plan its own routes and make adjustments during the journey. It can avoid obstacles, respond to unexpected situations, and keep itself hidden without relying on a human operator watching every second. This level of autonomy gives it a stronger chance of surviving deep in hostile waters and completing long missions without interruptions. Endurance is one of Ghost Shark's biggest advantages. It can remain fully submerged for days while staying quiet and difficult to detect. This makes it useful for loitering near enemy naval bases, watching shipping lanes, or placing itself in sensitive areas for long-term monitoring. Since it does not need to surface often, it reduces the risk of being spotted by satellites, patrol aircraft, or enemy sensors. The design also uses a flooded internal structure. Instead of keeping a dry space inside like a traditional submarine, much of Ghost Shark is filled with seawater. This reduces complexity and allows more space for propulsion systems, sensors, batteries, and mission packages. The layout becomes easier to build and maintain. It also helps with buoyancy control, making the vessel stable, quiet, and able to hold its position underwater for long periods. Ghost Shark can be launched in several ways. One option is a shore-based container system, where the submarine is rolled out and released into the water quickly. Another option is launching from surface warships, which gives naval commanders more freedom to place the vehicle exactly where it is needed. This flexibility helps the military react faster to new threats or unexpected events. With its long endurance and strong sensor systems, Ghost Shark can stay in a region and collect information for long stretches. This frees up crewed submarines to handle tasks that require humans on board, such as high-risk patrols, strategic missions, or actions that might need human judgment. In other words, Ghost Shark becomes a force multiplier that expands how far and how often a Navy can act. The sheer ability of this AI submarine is impressive, but its real strategic value becomes clearer when you see how it shifts the balance of power beneath the waves. Strategic impact, changing the naval game. Ghost Shark is shaping how modern navies think about underwater power. It gives them a constant presence in places that would normally be too risky for a crewed submarine. A traditional submarine needs to protect its sailors, plan safe routes, and avoid long exposure in contested waters. Ghost Shark removes those limits. It can patrol tough regions for long stretches, giving commanders steady access to information and pressure points without putting human lives at risk. Since the vehicle stays underwater for the entire mission, its trail in the ocean is extremely small. It does not create the signals that surface ships give off, and it avoids the usual signs a submarine produces when it comes up for air. This makes it harder for enemy forces to spot, track, or predict. A hidden platform that can appear anywhere in a wide region gives a big advantage to the Navy using it. The long endurance of Ghost Shark supports steady monitoring over important zones. This includes shipping routes, undersea cables, and approaches to naval bases. With an AI system doing the work continuously, commanders can receive updates on enemy movements or changes in the region without sending in extra ships or aircraft. It turns regular surveillance into something smooth and uninterrupted. A unique strength of Ghost Shark is the uncertainty it creates for adversaries. They cannot easily know when or where one is operating. This sense of unpredictability builds a natural deterrent. Enemies understand that a silent AUV could be nearby at any moment, watching or waiting. That uncertainty forces them to act more carefully, which can slow their plans and shape their decisions. Cost also plays a major part in its impact. Crewed submarines are expensive to build and support. They need life support systems, large crews, and heavy maintenance. Ghost Shark removes these heavy requirements. Its operating cost is lower, which means navies can deploy it more often and in more places without draining their budgets. The simpler internal design also means it can be serviced and prepared for new missions faster. The current production model makes it possible to build units in larger numbers. Once the assembly line reaches full strength, the Navy could order multiple Ghost Sharks to cover different regions at the same time. With several AUVs in the water, a Navy can saturate key undersea corridors and gain broader awareness of what rivals are doing. When combined with warships, crewed submarines, and aerial drones, Ghost Shark plays a powerful role in a larger sea strategy. It fills the gaps between platforms and supports missions that need steady monitoring or quick reaction. This makes the entire naval force stronger and gives commanders more tools for both defense and deterrence. But how exactly does the AI brain of the Ghost Shark work, and how can it operate so independently? Looking into its design and control system reveals just that: the AI core, lattice intelligence driving underwater missions. At the center of Ghost Shark's power is Lattice AI, the brain that guided every movement beneath the surface. Unlike remote-controlled systems that waited for human input, Lattice made decisions on its own. It handled navigation, threat responses, and mission shifts with a level of speed no human crew could ever match. The system worked quietly in the background, processing waves of information while keeping the vehicle hidden in the deep. Lattice constantly scanned its surroundings through sonar, inertial sensors, and internal navigation tools. These readings helped it create a live map of the ocean around it. The AI knew where the ocean floor curved upward, where rocks or wrecks might sit, and where potential threats could appear. With this map, Ghost Shark could slide smoothly through tight spaces or dark zones where visibility was almost zero. The most impressive part was how Lattice reacted to danger. If it sensed a hostile patrol, a listening device, or an unexpected signal in the water, it could quickly change course or drop into a quieter pattern. This reaction happened within moments, without a human operator touching a button. The ability to hide instantly gave Ghost Shark a huge survival advantage in waters that were monitored by enemy forces. Power management was another key part of Lattice's job. Underwater missions depend heavily on battery life, especially during long journeys. Lattice adjusted propulsion strength, sensor use, and even task priority, so the sub conserved energy and stayed submerged for the full mission. Every decision was designed to squeeze the most endurance out of the battery without slowing the mission down. The system was also built to work with the sub's modular payloads. Each mission kit had different needs, and Lattice automatically adjusted to any package that engineers installed. If the vehicle carried a strike module, Lattice shifted into a more cautious operational pattern. If it carried a surveillance package, it focused on collecting clean data and steering through places with good acoustic advantage. This adaptability turned the sub into a multi-role asset. One of the biggest strengths of the AI was local decision-making. Instead of relying on constant communication with a control center, which could reveal its position, the system made choices inside the hull. This made Ghost Shark harder to detect and harder to jam. Communication was limited to brief, secure bursts only when needed, which protected the mission and kept the sub hidden. During development trials, early prototypes showed how capable the system already was. Test runs at extreme depths, reportedly reaching 6,000 meters, proved that the AI could handle crushing pressure, near-total darkness, and unpredictable terrain. Engineers watched the data later and saw the machine make rapid adjustments with a level of confidence that surprised even the experts. This AI core set the foundation for truly independent underwater missions. It gave Ghost Shark a mind that never tired, never hesitated, and never panicked. It treated the deep sea like a living map and made choices with a sharp and steady focus. With an AI that smart, a production line backing it, and a strong mission set, Ghost Shark is built for future naval conflict. But what risks or ethical challenges does that future carry? Risks, challenges, and the ethics of an uncrewed sub. Ghost Shark offered a powerful new way to patrol the oceans, but it also introduced real risks that military planners could not ignore. Since the sub carried no human crew, a mission failure meant losing the entire vehicle at once. This removed the fear of human casualties, but it also raised concerns that commanders might choose bolder or more dangerous missions. When people were not inside the hull, the threshold for risk shifted, and that change carried serious consequences. AI mistakes were another major concern. Lattice was fast and reliable, but no AI was perfect. A wrong reading from a sensor or a flawed prediction during a tense moment could lead to a collision, accidental exposure, or an unexpected reaction. In the worst case, an error at the wrong time could escalate a situation with another navy. A small misjudgment underwater could turn into a political crisis on the surface. Communication problems also created uncertainty. Underwater zones often blocked messages, which meant Ghost Shark had to act alone for long periods. The question was simple but serious. If contact was lost, could the sub finish the mission and safely return, or would it drift into danger? The design depended heavily on the AI's ability to think independently when the network went silent. The flooded hull, while useful for saving weight and expanding internal space, brought its own engineering challenges. Even with pressure compartments inside, the outer structure had to face the crushing force of deep water. A single crack during combat or extreme depth could cause serious damage. Engineers had tested the design heavily, but real missions always carried surprises that could strain even the toughest materials. The stealth features of Ghost Shark also raised global concerns. A fully silent and uncrewed underwater platform could push other nations to start their own programs. This kind of hidden competition could spark a new strategic arms race beneath the waves. Rival powers might build AI subs that spread beyond the control of human operators, leading to risks of miscalculations and underwater standoffs. The use of strike modules created an even heavier ethical debate. If Ghost Shark carried torpedoes or naval mines, it raised the question of how an uncrewed system should handle lethal action. International law had long required human judgment in combat decisions. A machine that could fire a weapon on its own, even under strict rules, challenged the boundaries of modern warfare. Military leaders had to decide how far autonomy should go and who would carry responsibility if something went wrong. There were also supply chain issues. The program depended on dozens of companies and advanced materials. If tensions rose in key regions or if certain components became restricted, production could slow or stop. Securing sensitive parts for a machine this advanced required constant oversight. Yet despite these challenges, the program is moving forward with the factory now running and the first units rolled out. The rise of this Ghost fleet is no longer a concept, but fast becoming a reality. Looking ahead, the future of naval autonomy. The rise of Ghost Shark was only the beginning. With the first production units rolling out of Anduril's growing factory in Sydney, the program shifted from proving a concept to building a fleet. The facility is already working to increase its output, preparing to move from small batches to steady full-rate production. By 2026, planners expect the line to deliver dozens of units under the first major contract, forming the core of a new autonomous capability. This expansion supports a large network of Australian companies that supplied everything from advanced materials to precision electronics. More than 40 firms are contributing to the program, turning Ghost Shark into a pillar of local industry. This created new high-skilled jobs, strengthened technical expertise, and gave the country a stronger foothold in the global defense market. As demand increases, the network grows even larger, pushing new innovation into fields like robotics, batteries, and undersea sensors. Interest from allied nations is also rising. The performance of the prototypes had caught the attention of navies that needed quiet, low-cost platforms for surveillance and strategic patrol. Ghost Shark is not yet openly available for export, but the possibility was under review. If approval came, it could bring a new level of cooperation between partners and reshape collective defense strategies. Any nation that operated crewed submarines could benefit from a companion fleet of autonomous scouts that never needed food, oxygen, or rest. The software inside Ghost Shark was expected to evolve even faster than the hardware. The Lattice AI system was designed to learn from missions, update its models, and receive new features through secure patches. Each improvement would make the sub smarter at reading the ocean, avoiding danger, and making decisions under pressure. Future updates might allow coordinated behavior between multiple AUVs, creating packs that shared data and carried out complex operations together. New variants were already being discussed. Some designers imagined smaller Ghost Shark models made for shallow waters or rapid coastal response. Others explored the idea of specialized versions focused on mine clearing, electronic deception, or long-range relay tasks. There was also early talk of loitering munitions that could be launched from a Ghost Shark to reach targets farther away, expanding its role from a silent watcher to a more flexible tool. On a strategic level, Ghost Shark pointed toward a future where naval power looked very different. Instead of depending only on a small number of expensive crewed submarines, Fleets could spread out their presence through networks of smart autonomous systems. These machines could keep watch 24 hours a day, gather information, and carry out missions in places too dangerous for humans. If that vision became reality, Ghost Shark would stand as the starting point for a new undersea era. The ocean is moving toward a future shaped by intelligence, endurance, and silent machines. Ghost Shark is the first real sign of that shift, and the fleets of tomorrow would look nothing like the fleets of today.